Welcome to our weekly discussion of all things current in California politics. I'm Walt Gray, this week joined by Rich Eisen, editor-in-chief of Capital Weekly publication. Rich, always good to see you here on the weekend. So the college protests, the pro-Palestinian takeovers of various colleges, protesters are asking for their academic institutions to separate their business investments with Israel that may be funding this war. What are the chances that's going to happen, and when might we see this ending?
You know, it certainly worked with getting a lot of major American corporations to divest from South Africa. We certainly saw it after Russia invaded Ukraine. But this particular issue is so fraught with so many things outside of, the invasion of one country of another. I can't see it happening anytime soon. I think it's going to, I will just say I think it's unlikely. It's certainly unlikely anytime soon.
Okay. All right. Another issue is the governor is going to the Vatican. It's a climate summit. It's coming up in the middle of May. There are many people who feel, mostly on the Republican side, some Democrats, that perhaps the governor has other business in the state of California to tend to. There are programs being cut because the budget deficit is anywhere between 38 and $70 billion. What say you?
Well, and we're heading right toward the May revise. You would think this was a time when the governor would be, 100% focused on sticking around and working with legislative leaders on a package that will, because by California constitutional law, it's got to be balanced on June 15th. So I think it is surprising. I think there's some, some credence to some of the criticism. At the same time, Gavin Newsom has always, he's gone with the Barack Obama policy, which is, hey, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. And by the way, the climate crisis is very real. These are things where, we are a nation state where we need to lead. So, I can see validity from both perspectives here. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's very much interested in climate change and reversing that. California has reversed a population decline, apparently. Last year was the first year in the last 3, maybe 4. We actually had 67,000 people coming into the state. What's the reason for that, do you think?
Well, it's interesting. We had a 169-year streak of growth, which is more than anybody else had ever had. And then, of course, 2020 changed that. I think there's probably a couple things. The polarization of the country, as much as some people leave here to go to other states that may be aligned with them politically, I think there are probably people leaving some of those states and coming here. I think it's probably also true that some of the people who left and were able to work remotely, some of those jobs now are requiring people to come back into the office, and so maybe people are coming back for those reasons. Certainly we know some of this too is immigration. Some natural-born births too have increased. So there's a multitude of reasons. The ticket will be to see, does it continue on a growth pattern in the coming years? I think that's going to be the more interesting situation.
Yeah, this could be an anomaly. We'll find out more in the next release of population up or down. All right, Rich,
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your weekend. If you'd like to reach out to Rich Eisen, you can do so at rich.eisen@capitalweekly.com.